If I had to start over in 2025 from scratch, like if I got a total reset, got back to ground zero, kind of like what happened to me in 2012 when I went from being rich to being like broke and borrowing a bunch of money from a bunch of people so I could move to Florida and start my life over again. If I had to start over in 2025, I'm going to share with y'all exactly what I would do in 2025 if I had to start from scratch and I wanted to become rich. And it reminds me of this book. Some of you probably seen it before, 30 Days. Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels. You suddenly lose everything. And what would you do from day 1 to day 30 to save yourself? That's this book. So it says Russell Brunson, but what Russell did was he got a bunch of people in his inner circle to write a chapter in this book. And I wrote one of the chapters. And I based I called mine Bible Success Secrets and wrote it based on 1 Kings chapter 4, or 2 Kings chapter 4 with the widow and the oil. But even though those principles were great and they're in line with what I'm going to say today, what I would do today is very different than what I would have done when I wrote my chapter in this book, because the landscape has changed. So I believe that there's never been a time in human history when it's been easier for average people like us to create wealth. And I know when I say that, you, and some of y'all, have some internal resistance to the fact that I said average people like us, because I put myself in that boat. But I'm telling you, I am an average person just like you, who just has been focusing on different inputs over a longer period of time. That's the difference. I'm not smarter than you. Some of y'all are smarter than me. I may be a little bit more well-connected. I maybe have some better sales skills, but for the most part, I'm just a regular guy. There's nothing that you would look at from the outside looking in at my life and say, oh, this guy's going to make it. In fact, when I graduated from high school, the only award I got was the most likely to get on your nerves award. It was like a little pill bottle, like seriously, it said most likely to get on your nerves award. I'm not even making that up, right? Nobody ever said, this guy's going to be the one, right? They said, this guy. Okay. Anyway, so what would I do? The first thing I would do is I would strengthen my mindset. I would strengthen my mindset because, as you've heard me say before, I got this from Daniel Priestley, income follows assets. But where do assets come from? Mindset times skill set times tool set equals assets. If you are struggling right now, the real reason you're struggling is because you have no assets. So if I started from zero, one of the first things I would do is I would create some assets. But how would I do that? I strengthen my mindset. Some people have the mindset that these people who talk about everybody can get rich. Well, everybody can't get rich, but most people can. But most people won't, because their perspective is that most people can't, and they're in the group that can't. And the reality is, even if that were true, which it's not, but even if it were true, it wouldn't do you any good to believe that it was true. Like, you don't do yourself any service at all by believing that the things you desire are only for other people. How does that help you? What does it help you do? Other than confirm that it's somebody else's fault that your life isn't working. I ain't coming at you, bro. I ain't coming at you. So I would strengthen my mindset. So when I say strengthen my mindset, what am I talking about? I'm talking about, first of all, I'd strengthen my perspective. My perspective is the angle from which I look at things. So my perspective is what I believe. I would strengthen what I believe. I would strengthen what I believe is possible in general, and I would strengthen what I believe is possible for me. I think if I have my greatest strength is my ability to focus on the outcome that I believe is not just possible, but very likely for me in the face of all kinds of seeming obstacles. My ability to look at the promise and focus through the problem is stronger than most. Because I realize that doubt is created in the eyes, but faith is created in the ears. And what do I mean by that? Well, doubt is created in the eyes. I see something that looks like an insurmountable obstacle. If I buy into the idea that it's an insurmountable obstacle, then it becomes an insurmountable obstacle. I might as well just turn around and go back home. But what if I've heard somebody who's already achieved the thing that I desire to achieve say, that looks like an insurmountable obstacle to you. There was a time in my life when it looked like an insurmountable obstacle to me, but I overcame it. And here's how I overcame it. And if you will do these things, you can overcome it as well. Does that make sense? So now I can take something I've heard that somebody else said who is where I'd like to be, doing what I'd like to be doing, and they have what I'd like to have, and I can believe what they said over what I see. So here's what happens. People watch me on YouTube, and other people as well. They watch me, other people on YouTube, and they hear us, and then they like what they hear from us, but not enough to replace what not enough to use it to replace what they see. Are y'all tracking? So my perspective is what I believe. I really believe in me. I believe in my ability to do the thing. And they say, Myron, why do you believe? Isn't that kind of arrogant? No, because it's not arrogant, because I don't believe in me because of me. I believe in me in spite of me. I believe in me in spite of the fact that I had polio as an infant. I walk with a brace on my leg. I still believe in me. I believe in me in spite of the fact that I did well in school all the way through the 3rd grade, and it went downhill from there. I believe in me in spite of the fact that I liked the 10th grade so much I took it twice, and that ain't the real reason. I believe in me even though it took me 14 years as an entrepreneur to have my first 6-figure year. I believe in me. Say, Myron, why do you believe in you? I believe in me first and foremost because God believes in me. You say, what do you mean God believes in you? How do you know God believes in you? I know God believes in me because I'm still here. Because the scripture says that unto him that is joined to all living, there is hope. And a living dog is better than a dead lion. So I believe in me. I believe in my ability to win. I believe in me because God believes in me, but I believe in me because my parents believed in me. And I can remember, probably they knew, because I had this brace on my leg and I walk with a limp, they knew that other people weren't going to believe in me. And so they overcame that before I ever set foot in a school. You can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be. I heard that message from my parents so many times that I just grew up believing I can do anything I want to do. I can believe anything I want. I mean, I can be anything I want to be. I just grew up believing that. Like my mom and my dad, they just grilled it in me. My dad used to sing the song, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. And he would say, son, if another person can do something, that tells you it can be done. And if it can be done by them, it can be done by you. Okay, say less. Time for me to do more. I changed my mindset. I strengthened my mindset. My perspective is, I believe I can. I believe, and this sounds crazy, and it is kind of crazy, but crazy in a good way for me. It's worked out so far. I believe that the only thing that's impossible for me is that something would be impossible for me. I don't entertain impossibilities as impossibilities. I entertain impossibilities as I'm possibilities. Because I understand that expectation is my greatest superpower. Expectation is also your greatest superpower. But unfortunately for you, the cultural hypnotic societal mechanism has programmed you to use your greatest superpower against yourself. So you believe more in your limitations than you do in your leverage. I just happen to believe more in my leverage than I do my limitations. And so I strengthened my mindset and my perspective. Because the reality is, I've coached a lot of people. I was talking to some of my VIPs on the plane on the way back from Mexico. So I had 3 VIPs with me on the plane. And so we're in a private jet on Saturday, what day did we come back? Saturday. On Saturday, we're flying back. And I'm having this conversation with them. And I told them that most people think the reason they're not succeeding is because they don't know how. And that really has absolutely nothing to do with it. Nothing. I don't mean it doesn't have that much to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. If you teach a person how to succeed, and you don't teach them how to become the person who knows they can, they won't do it. There are too many people that have the steps that are necessary for success, but they don't have the steel. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? They know exactly what to do. They just don't know how to make themselves do it. Wow. That's what I said. Say it backwards for me, for the people in the back row. Wow. And so I said, if you teach somebody how to do it, this is why most of the coaching I do is mindset coaching. I teach people steps, but I don't teach them steps too early, because then they'll use those steps as an excuse not to do it, because they'll solidify their belief in their inability to do the steps. If you teach somebody what to do without having them become the person who can do it, they're never going to do it. But if you teach a person how to become the person who can do it, and you don't teach them the steps, they will figure out what steps to put in place to make it work. Every time. Every time. So, strengthen my mindset. What do I mean? I mean strengthen my perspective, what I believe. Then I'm going to strengthen my perception. What is that? What I behold. And so, I was wondering, why do people struggle so much in entrepreneurship? They struggle as soon as they realize how much money they're going to make from this great idea. They start struggling. It's so crazy. It's like you come up with this great idea, it'll help a lot of people, you get real excited about it, you put the thing in place, it's ready to help a lot of people, then you start thinking, man, I'm gonna make this money, this money, this money, and then when you start talking to people, your focus shifts from helping that person to getting paid. And so now you feel wonky and you feel like a little out of place, I feel a little awkward, I feel awkward asking them for the money, right, because you're thinking about how much money you're gonna get paid. If somebody's paying me $375,000 for a VIP day, I don't feel awkward asking for the money. Why? Because I'm thinking about the result they're gonna get. I'm going to tell you a story about this. One of the VIPs who was on the plane with me, his name's Richmond. He lives in Australia. So he and I are in a mastermind together. We were in Boise, Idaho last October. We're sitting at a dinner table. And he knows that me and some of my students, we have six-figure offers that we make to people. He's like, Myron, I don't get it. How do you make a $100K offer to someone? It doesn't make sense. Don't you have to put all of this stuff in? I said, that's not how it works, Richmond. This is how it works. And so I took out a $100 bill out of my pocket. Oh, please. Yep. Nope, that's a 10. Okay. I took a $100 bill. I know I have a $100 bill in here somewhere. Okay. So I took a $100 bill out of my wallet, out of my pocket. And I said, Richmond, here's what I'm going to do, bro. What is this? He said, it's a $100 bill. I said, I will sell you this $100 bill right now for $10. You got 60 seconds. Somebody start the timer. The guy who's sitting beside him started the timer. He takes out his money. I'll give you $20 Australian. Am I in Australia, bro? I don't want $20 Australia. I want $10 US. You give me $10 US before that timer runs out. But I don't have it. What am I going to do? I don't have it. He keeps going this. And then finally somebody says to him, Richmond, borrow the money. Oh, okay. So he leans up, Russell, do you got $10? Russell's like, I got 5. He gives somebody else, I got 20. Myron, when you take 20, I don't want 20, I want 10. Time's up. Wow. I said, Richmond, I did that to show you something. One, when you're selling something to somebody, you're not selling them the pieces. You're selling them the payoff. And you were willing to pay me $10 for this $100 bill because this is 10 times better than that. When you can make your offer 10 times better than the amount of money people are going to pay you for it, regardless of price, they will pay you. Because people are willing to pay for something that's worth more than the money as long as they desire that thing. I said, the second lesson, Richmond, is this. I said, you didn't even think to borrow the money for 40 seconds. You let 40 seconds go by, and somebody else had to tell you to borrow the money. And by the time you could have found it, if you would have thought of it earlier, it was too late. The timer was up. So I said, here's the reality, Richmond. If you didn't think about borrowing the money so you could 10x your return, if you didn't think of it for yourself, I can guarantee you're not thinking of it for your clients, and so you don't even recommend it as an option. So you're making less sales than you would have made. He's like, oh, that's so good. My Australian accent's not that good, so for all of you Aussies out there, forgive me. Okay. So then, the next day he comes in. Myron, I'm so excited. I made my first, it bothered me so much I lost that game last night. I stayed up and I created a $100K offer and I offered it to one of my clients. I said, did they take it? He said, I don't know, they're still sleeping. It's the middle of the night in Australia. So he comes to me later. He says, Myron, they took the offer. I said, great. See how easy that was? And then he says, hey, I'm going to leave him a Voxer message. Do you mind encouraging this person, saying something to them for me? I said, no. So I get on Voxer. In fact, I won't pull up the message because it was on his phone. It wasn't on mine anyway. This woman's name was Kaylee. I said, Kaylee, congratulations on taking Richmond up on his offer, his 100K offer. Because you were, by the way, Richmond's one of the most brilliant business people I know. I know he delivers on the promises. You're in good hands with him, and he is. He's the dude's brilliant. I said, he's going to deliver on the promises, and I want to do something for you because you're the first person to take his 100K offer. I'm going to make Richmond a 100K offer. I'm going to offer him to come to Tampa, spend a day with me on my yacht, and I'm going to coach him for 4 to 6 hours, and you're going to be able to come with him as his plus one. Richmond's like, okay, I guess I'll take your 100K, Kaylee, and give it to mine. I said, no, Richmond, that's not the point. You missed the point. It's not about you taking that 100K and giving it to me. I'm going to show both of y'all how to make so much money, it's going to make your head spin. And I'm going to let you come to my 2-day event. It's called Mouth of Millions, which I usually sell for 25 grand, just that 2-day event. I sell it for 25 grand. I'm going to let you come to my 2-day event called Mouth of Millions. And when you come to that event, I'm going to teach you my premium value offer framework so you will know exactly how to craft a 100K offer and exactly what to put in it so that you don't feel like the person has to come spend the night at your house and come over for all the holidays and you have to invite them over for their birthday, so you don't have to feel like you have to throw in the kitchen sink with this offer. He's like, okay, great. So he now takes my 100K offer. He brings her with him as his plus one. They spend the day with me on the yacht, with me and several other VIPs. And then the next 2 days, we go into Mouth of Millions. He's like, Myron, this is so great. This is so great. Oh, it's going to be so good. So he sends me a Voxer message when he gets back to Australia. Myron, on the way back, Kaylee and I crafted our first $1 million offer. We pitched it to someone and they took it. What? Yes. Right. So he made a $100,000 offer, and then he made a $1 million offer. So when he came, so there was another woman at that dinner who came and said, when I made Richmond the 100K offer to come spend, she said, I want the 100K offer. So she came, she paid the 100K offer. And I said, both of y'all can ride back with me on the jet. I'll give you a free, I'll throw in a bonus mastermind in the sky. Richmond couldn't do it because he had to go back to Australia, but Phyllis and Cease, they came back with me. And so Phyllis upgraded to the $375,000 VIP, and then after the other event, Richmond upgraded to the $375,000 VIP as well. So, and I'm telling you that whole story so you can see that what I perceive in the marketplace, the value that the people are getting from me, not the value that I'm getting from them. The money that I'm getting from them doesn't change my life. The $350,000 that back when it was it's $375,000 now, just so you'll know. Okay, the $350,000 that I got from Richmond and $350,000 that I got from Phyllis and Cease, that didn't change my life at all. Both of those together didn't change my, like there was nothing that I was like, man, if I just get this money, I'll be able to buy this. No, didn't change my life at all. Their life has changed forever. Phyllis and Cease have sold five 100K offers since that. They've been in my mastermind. They've all been full on in the coaching program since March. You say, Myron, what are you saying? All I did was help them see something different. I didn't teach them any skill sets yet. I just strengthened their mindset. I strengthened their ability to believe, and I strengthened their ability to perceive. Go look for holes in the marketplace. You want to get rich? So when you strengthen in your perception, you're not just strengthening your perception of yourself, you're strengthening your perception of the problems in the marketplace. The thing you get paid for is solving other people's problems. When you obsess over other people's problems longer than they do and you find elegant solutions, they will pay you for those solutions. Okay? So I strengthened my mindset. What did I do? I strengthened my perception. I strengthened my perspective. I strengthened my persuasion. Now, when I talk about persuasion, I'm talking about what I broadcast, but I'm not talking about external broadcast. I'm not talking about what I do to persuade other people. I'm talking about what I do to persuade me. I changed how I talk to myself. I don't ask myself disempowering questions. But what if it doesn't work? If you ask that question, what are you going to find the answer to? What if it doesn't work? You'll know exactly what it looks like if it doesn't work. What if you just ask yourself a better question? You figure out what answer would be a good answer. Okay, what if I ask myself this question instead? How awesome is this going to be when it works? Then I get that answer. Which answer is going to serve me more? How awesome is this going to be when it works? See, we're so busy knowing exactly what it's going to look like if it doesn't work, and not even having a vague representation of what it's going to look like if it does work. We don't persuade ourselves. The message that we broadcast to ourselves talk us out of all our chances. We don't need anybody else to talk us out of our chances. We're good at that, doing that ourselves. Okay, so I strengthen my mindset. Then I strengthen my skill set. Which skill sets? My value level skill sets. You already know what they are. I strengthen my imagination. My ability to see things that aren't there yet. My imagination is what? My ability to see things that aren't there yet. What does that even mean? It means I can, like, the funny thing about our imagination is we can see pictures in our head. Right? We can actually see movies in our head. We can feel feelings in advance in our head. So if I say, okay, I strengthen my imagination. I imagined the life that I live decades before I experienced it. Decades before I experienced it. So I strengthen my imagination. I strengthen my communication. Now, there are two things that you can do. There are two exercises you can do that will strengthen your imagination and your communication. Would y'all like to know what they are?
Yes.
Okay. Read more, write more. Those are two of the most important things you can do, because when you read more, it gives you more tools with which to think. It also gives you more words in your vocabulary toolbox with which to speak. You know, if everything is just a thing, then everything is nothing. If you call it, think about it, well, that thing. Which thing was I talking about on that table? Which thing was I talking about? You don't know? Because I used the same exact word to describe all of them. So each thing needs a word. Reading, especially if while you're reading and you come across a word and you don't know what it means, you look it up. And here's the beauty. You don't even have to use a dictionary to look it up anymore. You can chat GPT it. You can Google it. There's so many different ways. Like every time you come across a word, you look it up. What if every time you came across a word, you looked it up and you wrote down the word and the definition, and then you started using that word in your vocabulary? It would strengthen your ability to think and strengthen your ability to speak. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so strengthen my imagination skill set, strengthen my communication. I promise you, I'm not exact. Okay, so here's what's interesting. You can speak without thinking. Have you ever done that before? Oh, I can't believe I said that. I wish I should have thought about that before I said, oh man, right? We've all agonized over saying things that we haven't thought about. Can I get a witness? Yes. Okay. You can speak without thinking, but you can't think without words. So when I strengthen my communication ability, I automatically strengthen my thinking ability. That's so good. Okay. Then I strengthen my unification ability. What's unification? First of all, unification is congruency. I don't have my desires pulling in one direction and my expectation pulling in the opposite direction. Why? Because when desire is in opposition to expectation, expectation always wins. Did you hear what I just said? If desire and expectation, if they're pulling in opposite directions, expectation will always win. Now, that almost sounds like I'm saying you can't have what you desire, doesn't it? But I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can't have what you desire if you desire one thing and you expect the opposite. So what you have to learn to do is instead of using your willpower to make yourself do a thing, use your willpower to make yourself expect the things you desire. I said that too fast. I can tell by the looks on your faces. Use your willpower to force yourself to only allow yourself to expect the things you desire. You know how you think, oh, I'd like to write a book. And then all of a sudden the thought pops into your head, but nobody's going to want to read a book written by me. You got to get that thought out of your expectation. Like, when I write this book, everybody's going to want to read this. It's going to be so good. People are not going to be able to stop talking about it. Right? I realized a long time ago, anything I tell myself about a future outcome, I made it up. Anything you tell yourself about a future outcome, you made it up. If you're making up stories about outcomes in the future, which you are, you might as well make up outcomes that empower you instead of outcomes that disempower you. Since you're in the business of making up outcomes, making up stories anyway, why not make up an empowering story?
Yeah.
Okay, just saying. Okay, so I strengthen my unification, my congruency, but then I strengthen my unification with other people in creating partnerships and collaborations, right? So my ability to get other people to buy into my cause, my movement. Why would they do that? Well, we talked about it earlier. Because I'm confident. People will buy into my movement. They'll buy into my beliefs because I bought into them. But they'll also buy into it because of my competence. But the other reason they'll buy into it is because of my character. See, if my character does it, like if what I say and what I do don't match up, it doesn't matter how confident or competent I am, people are not going to follow me. But if I've got those three things, man, I'm pretty much unstoppable. If I've got competence, I know how to do stuff, and confidence, I believe it's going to work, and I've got character, my actions match my words, oh, it's a wrap. Let's go. Okay. And then implementation, my implementation skills. when it comes to implementation skills, you have to get good at doing some things. It's so fascinating. When I look at this business now, and I think about our team members, I think about Jawan and Michael and Karina and Megan and Jeff and Rob and all of these people who are on our team, and Diana, and I know I'm leaving people out. I'm not doing it intentionally, and Rebecca, because they're going to see this and they're going to think I'm not ignoring you. I'm just in the moment. I don't remember everybody's name. Okay. But I've got all these people doing all this stuff. When I first started this business, I did everything. I did it all. We didn't get as much done as we get done now, right? But I did everything that needed to be done. Why? Because that's all I had. I mean, my kids would help me. My wife helped me by being my wife. Okay. Well, that sounds funny, but I'm very serious. Like anyway, it's another conversation for a different day. So, but I'm talking about, when it comes to working in the business, my kids wanted money. We didn't give them money. We gave them opportunities to earn money. Right? So anyway, so my implementation skills, the implementation skills that I would strengthen today would be my ability to sell and my ability to outsource, delegate. Like in the beginning of your delegation, probably it would be best if it were outsourced delegation versus hiring somebody delegation. Why? Because if you outsource it, then you only pay them while they're working, right? Okay. And you only pay them for the amount of work that you have, which in the beginning is not much. So you outsource somebody to build your funnels if you don't know how to build a funnel. You outsource somebody to run your ads if you don't know how to run the ads. You outsource somebody to build your members area if you don't know how to do that. Like there's ways around it. Okay, so implementation. And then I would sharpen my skill sets. My tool set. Sharpen my tool set. So I'd strengthen my mindset, survey my skill set, and then sharpen my tool set. What's the tool set? What are the tools that I would use to get rich today? Number one, the internet. I don't know how to use a computer. That's fine if that's your story today. We're going to let you get away with that today. But come July 16th, you still don't know how to use one? Now it's time to come get your family and take them to safety. Because it doesn't take that long to learn how to use one. You just don't care enough. You don't care enough. The internet. Why? Because the internet gives you access to everyone, and the internet gives everyone access to you. I have clients all over the world. I'm not even exaggerating. You ready? So I was speaking at a church in Dallas week before last. I spoke there 3 days, 3 nights. I come back home. I'm home for a couple of days. I go to Mexico. We flew into the wrong airport just because I didn't know which airport was closer. So I'm taking responsibility. We flew into the wrong airport, so we had to take a taxi to a ferry, and then take another taxi to the resort. So I get off the ferry in this town in the middle of Mexico. I'm on my way to the other car to bring us to the resort. First person I see, hey, you were just at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church last week. I was there. You were at my church last week. They were not there with us for our Mexico trip. They just happened to be in Mexico at the same time. Is that crazy? So it seemed kind of crazy to me. Anyway, I was at the golf course yesterday in Davenport. Some guy, random guy, we come around to the 10th hole, some random guy comes driving up real fast. I'm like, where's he going? There's like, did they send a single out in front of us? I'm like, what's happening here? This guy drives up and says, you're Myron Golden. Shut up. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, I am. I said, I am. He said, I've been watching your videos for a long time. I said, thank you. The internet gives everybody access to you. So you can tell your story. So you can let people know what value you've created for them while they weren't watching. So now they can pay you. Right? The internet. A couple things I would learn to do on the internet. One, I would learn to post content on social media platforms on the internet and on your phone. I would learn how to do that. Not content, oh, this is what I had for breakfast. I mean, that's fine if that's, right? But content that lets people know what you can do for them. That's why I call this video and content like this my community service content. I charge people a lot of money to work with me. So what I do for people that don't have a lot of money, buy one of my books. It's $20, $30. Or watch my content on YouTube. You don't have to pay anything but attention. Right? So use the internet to post content. Use the internet to do research. Now, a couple different kinds of research I would do. One, I would do search engine keyword research, because YouTube is a search engine. Okay, people think YouTube is social media. YouTube is a search engine. And YouTube is owned, it's the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the largest search engine in the world, which is Google. So Google has this tool called the Google Keyword Planner. When you go to the Google Keyword Planner, it will tell you, you type in a keyword or a keyword phrase, it will tell you how many searches per month there are for that phrase. Are y'all tracking? How many searches per month there are for that phrase? Well, if there are 100,000 searches per month, now, but there's a caveat. If you're going to use in order to use the Google Keyword Planner, you have to open a Google AdWords account, a Google ad account. You don't have to buy any ads, but you have to open the account. Okay? And then they'll let you use the tool for free. They'll tell you how many searches there are per month. If there are, let's say there's 100,000 searches a month for a keyword phrase, I would go Google that phrase and see what comes up. If no video comes up, create a video with that exact keyword phrase as the title. And that video, put links back to your site or back to your offers, that video will be on the first page of Google within a couple of days. As under organic search. I know, that's so simple, right? There's a website called answerthepublic.com. It tells you, like you type in a question, it tells you all the related questions that are related to that question. If you make your content based on like heavy content search on Answer the Public, you will create content that people will want to find, and watch if you have answers for the questions the public is asking. You can make that the source of your blog content, your YouTube content, your TikTok content, your Instagram, whatever, because that's what people are looking for. Okay. So I'd learn how to use the internet, first tool. Platforms like Zoom, where you can go and you can do like online events where people come together. Like our challenge starts this morning in 20 minutes. The Make More Offers challenge starts in 20 minutes. If you have a ticket for that challenge, and if you have a VIP ticket for that challenge and you're here in this room or you live here in Tampa, you can attend the challenge here in the room. But you have to have a VIP ticket, and at about 10:55, your ability to purchase challenge tickets for this challenge goes away. All the purchases that come in after that will go to next month's challenge because it creates a logistical nightmare otherwise. Okay, so the internet. That's one tool that I'd learn to use. Another tool I'd learn to use, I'd learn how to use AI. Do not let me hear you say that you don't know how to use AI. Because if you do, I'm coming to get you. Why? Because you can ask AI to teach you how to use AI. And it will. So there's no excuse. Okay, how'd you learn how to use AI? Don't use it for criminal purposes like so many of these criminals. By the way, let me make this announcement. If you see a video if you see on YouTube a channel that has a voice that sounds similar to mine but more raspy, and it sounds all corporate-y, it's not me. It's an AI clone voice of me. And it's probably an AI generated script based on my content, stitching a bunch of stuff together that doesn't make any sense, that I would never say. And what they'll usually do, they might have, look to see if the words are matching up with the mouth, if they've got video. Because I just saw one this morning where they had it was me on stage, but some different words were coming out of my mouth than I have ever said. And then they take you to an audio, and they've got some stream or some mountain scene in the background and an image of me. None of those are me. They're all AI cloned voices, and they're all fake, and they're probably going to attempt to use my name to scam you out of money. So just ignore them, or better yet, report them. Don't make me to be the only one that reports them. Okay. That's another conversation for a different day. Learn how to use AI, but don't be a criminal like these clowns. Okay. So learn how to sharpen your tool set, your internet tool set, sharpen your AI tool set, sharpen your camera tool set. Stop thinking that you need Sony FX6s or A7S IIIs or Canon EOS, whatever. No, you know what you need? A smartphone. That's right. And the camera on your smartphone is better than 90% of the cameras I've owned since I've been making videos on the internet. Just use your phone. Get in a place with some good lighting and say something that matters. Okay. I'm going to give you a step-by-step in a minute. Okay. And then the last one, learn how to use software. Software like a funnel building software. Software like a communication broadcast software. Learn how to use software. Maybe a video editing software. Learn how to do something. Now, here's what I would do if I were going to start over. After I did all of these things that I just talked about, because people say, but you didn't give us any steps, so I'm going to give you some steps. Take inventory of your skill sets. Let's say all you know how to do is shoot and edit videos on your smartphone. Do you understand how many super profitable 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses that don't know how to make a video to promote their business? Yeah. Find a big pool of people with a big problem. What's a big problem? They don't have enough clients. It could be a law firm. It could be a doctor's office. It could be a cosmetic surgeon. It could be a cosmetic dentist. It could be any number of high white-collar professional jobs or professions that don't know how to promote their own practice. Get good at that one skill of shooting and editing videos and creating marketing videos for clients that have deep pockets. Charge them X amount of dollars per video. If you went to a law practice, I will create a video for you a week, and I'll only charge you $1,000 a video for a law firm that will get you clients. This video will get you clients. It'll get you way more clients than you're getting right now. And you do one video a week. If you get 2 clients, you're making $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month. That's $96,000 a year. And all you're doing is making 2 videos a week. You're working part-time and you're making just under 6 figures. What if you're good at sales? You could become a sales consultant and go and teach. Do you know when people go to law school, they teach you how to practice law? They just don't teach you how to get any clients to practice law for? Did you know that when people go to medical school, they learn how to practice medicine? They just don't learn how to get any patients to practice medicine on? What if you just become the person who teaches doctors how to get patients and lawyers how to get clients? Or maybe you have your own business and your business is a medical whatever and you got a spare room. You could turn that spare room into a studio. And you could lease that room out on peerspace.com to people who want to be podcasters, but they don't have any place to record their podcast. There are so many ways for you to make money right now. So, Myron, what would you do? Here's what I would do. Okay. Here's how I would do it. I would pick what niche I'm going to work in. And for me, it would be entrepreneurs who are struggling with sales. That's who I would help. I would find somebody who I can produce a very big result for. And I would just swing for the fences because I know it requires the same amount of energy to swing for the fences as it does to get a base hit. And so I would go out and I would find a client and I would say, I will teach you how to double your revenue in 90 days if you pay me $10,000 a month. I'll meet with you once a week and I'll teach you how to double your revenue in your business. You pay me $10,000 a month and you pay me 5% of the upside or pay me 3% of the upside. And I would go to that business and I would say, by the way, since you're paying me this money, what I'm going to do, if you'll allow it, I'm going to allow other people to watch me coach you, and I'm going to charge them for that. And I'm going to pay you 10% of everything they pay me. So now you're already generating revenue for them. See, your problem is not that you don't know how to do anything. Your problem is that you don't understand deal structure. So I would teach that business owner, and I would record it, even if I were teaching them one-on-one, like in person. I would broadcast it on Zoom, even if nobody was watching it. Why? Because I would record it. That's right. Then I would take the recording, and I would have it transcribed. And I would take the transcript of me scaling their business, doubling their revenue, and I might write a book called How to Double Your Revenue in Any Business. And then I would have ChatGPT or Claude or some AI take that transcript and say, this is a transcript, turn it into a manuscript. Are y'all tracking?
Yes.
And this is the title, and these are the chapters. And I'd let it turn into a manuscript. And then I would get it printed as a printed book. And then I would use that book to get more clients to pay me $10,000 a month. That's what I would do if I were going to start over. And there's not anybody watching me right now who couldn't do exactly that if that's something you know how to do. You say, but Myron, I don't know how to help somebody double their revenue. Great. You know how to help somebody lose 10 pounds? You know how to help somebody lose 7 pounds a month? I'm going to show you how to lose 21 pounds over the next 90 days. Whatever your skill set is, take it out to the marketplace, because here's what's going to happen. Every time you train somebody and you record it, you are creating the thing that income can follow. Income follows assets. And your real problem, if you don't have any money, is you don't have any assets. See, I've got assets. I've got this book right here that I wrote 19 years ago. I wrote this book in 2006. Is that 19? That's 19 years ago. I wrote this book 19 years ago. This book makes me about $110,000 a year. How do you make $100,000? I don't write this book every year. I don't even read this book every year. In fact, I think the last time I read this book was probably 2008. But other people have read it. If you attempt to buy this on eBay, not on eBay, on Amazon right now, it'll probably cost you 50, 60, 70 bucks. You can get it on my website for 20 bucks. I've seen this book on Amazon for sale for $1,100. I'm not exaggerating. I've seen it on sale for $1,100 because people buy the book, and because people can't find the website, they sell it on Amazon. I was literally doing an event. I said, people sell my book on Amazon and they overcharge for it. And the guy was in the room. He said, yeah, I just paid $169 last week for that book. Last week. They can buy it on my website for 20 bucks, right? Trashman2cashman.com. And if you think I'm trying to sell you something, don't buy it. There you go. So don't buy it. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It doesn't matter. This book I wrote 5 years ago. This book makes me between $300,000 and $400,000 a year. You say, what is this, Myron? What is this book? This is called B.O.S.S Moves. It's an asset. It sells for $30 plus $9.99 shipping and handling. There was a guy who was in one of my coaching programs. He said, man, when I saw your book and you were selling it for $30 and $9.99 shipping and handling, I was so mad. I thought, who do you think you are? Man, Russell Brunson gives his book away for free and only charges $7 shipping and handling. Yeah, but Russell's objective is different than mine. He said, but then when I saw on the website that you said if you were going to coach somebody, I charge $40,000 an hour for coaching. If you were going to coach somebody for 2 hours, it'd be $80,000. You'd go over exactly what's in the book, and now I can get it for $40. He said, oh yeah, that made it an easy yes. Well, there you go. These are two assets that make me between $400,000 and $500,000 a year. That's only like 13 times more than I've ever made at a job in my life. Why? Because income follows assets. Your real problem is not that you don't have a degree. Your real problem is not that you don't have any skills. The real problem is you don't have any assets, because income follows assets. And the methodology that I just shared with you is how you can acquire more assets and create more assets that income has the opportunity to follow. I hope this video helps you. If I were going to start over, this is exactly what I would do. If you're starting from scratch, I don't know. Maybe you should check it out, test it out, see if it works as well for you as it has for me and a bunch of my clients. Hope this video helps you. I hope it blesses you and your family. In the meantime, in between time, it's been great talking with you. Stay blessed by the best. We'll see you on the next video.